Hey, good evening, Coach. Good evening, everyone. Have a question for Coach? Just raise your hand. We'll pass the microphone to you. We'll start on the right-hand side with Dan.
Just email an update on Rob and Marcus and just the mindset of you and the team coming into tonight.
Same as usual with those two. They'll get tested at the 90-minute mark and see how they feel. Did a little bit of shoot around today, but it's always a game time decision and see if they continue to progress throughout the day. Our mindset is to come out and be aggressive like we did last game, respond well to wins and not just when our back is against the wall. And yeah, we've been in this position before, game 6 against Milwaukee. And so we understand Miami's mindset coming out and have to match that intensity, sense of urgency, and physicality they're going to bring.
Ime, speaking of being aggressive, Derek's really thriving in that short roll position that he's been playing in for a lot of the series. Says he didn't do a lot of that early in his career. What do you kind of see that, made you put him in that position?
Poor defender and them wanting to stay on Jason and Jalen. That's one advantage for him, and having two guys like Jason and Jalen draw a lot of attention. The others will be recipients of some poor defenders, and they do things to protect the other guys when we try to attack them as Jason Jalen as a screener. So we like to put our others in that position and see how they're going to defend it. And a lot of times those guys slipping out. Marcus has been really good at it. Derek has picked it up pretty quickly, but a lot of times they're committing two to the ball. You just have to make the pocket pass and have the numbers behind it. He's really good at that. And
on the topic of just how locked in the team is, Grant said this morning he texted you at 4 a.m. after game 5. Is that a common thing going on right now with the team? Is everyone just kind of reaching out?
Yeah, I mean, we're in communication all the time, obviously, and I've done the same to whether it's Marcus or Rob, and appreciate them playing through injury and soreness, and so everybody's on the same page and understand the opportunity we have in front of us. And obviously, like I said, we've been talked about being the hunter earlier in the series against Milwaukee, and now we're on the other side, and it's big for us to go out and try to finish it tonight. We did the same thing in Milwaukee, went to their place and got one, brought it back for game 7, and we'd like to avoid that.
Ime, just looking it up here, as late as January 16th, this team was in 11th place. During the toughest parts of earlier in the season, could you ever have imagined that you'd be on the verge of the finals?
We weren't even thinking that far down the road, honestly. We were thinking about getting healthy, understanding and the system that we were trying to put in place, and we always had glimpses of success, and so we were just trying to be consistent with it for the most part, understanding that we were really good defensively all along, offensively trying to get our guys on the same page and get them to understand what we needed from them, and so that was the goal at that point. But we did see good things early on at times, just up and down, inconsistent a little bit, but we were always optimistic. If we got healthy and our defense would carry over, offensively we'd continue to improve. And the good signs were that we played really well against the big teams. We had some poor losses against some of the lesser teams, but for the most part, we're competing against the best teams, and that bodes well for the future. And I think we finally flipped the script, got healthy at the right time, and here we are.
Ime, given that a few of the guys have had a tendency to try to do too much in this series, do you think there's a possibility that they try to come out a little too hyped to try to close this out and maybe get out of what you're trying to do? How do you combat that?
Well, just take a look at what has kind of hampered us throughout the series. Miami is going to play the way they play, and take a look at last game, our first half with the 10 turnovers and giving up offensive rebounds and playing in the crowd. It's pretty simple. If we do that, we struggle at times offensively, and then when we get it down to 5 turnovers in the second half and the ball is moving, it's night and day offensively. So guys understand that, still have to be strong with the ball, understand they got guys with great hands and they're not going to give up on plays. And so when Jason and Jalen do that and did that in the second half, it was night and day offensively. So I wouldn't say come out too hyped. Understand it's going to be a long game and continue to wear teams down like we did game 4 with Brooklyn and game 7 with Milwaukee.
Wrap it up right there. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.